Okay, G, a lot of people are trying to get fit for, the New Year's resolution, but you're also trying to get healthy. And Seanna Thomas is here with the first Meal Prep Monday of the year with some healthy foods to help us get everything sort of in full circle, whether it's fitness, eating right, all that kind of thing.
Absolutely. Sure. And I mean, when we think of salads, a lot of the time we think boring, lettuce, tomato, cucumber, right? And you don't have to. Yeah. So I have a couple of tips first when you're thinking about salads in general, because we do sort of lean towards salads in the new year. First is really dry your lettuce and your veggies, because otherwise they can get really soggy. It also invites bacteria into the fridge, right? So we want to make sure that we're really drying those out.
Do you need to use a spinner, or is
spinners are great. Yeah, they're absolutely great. If you don't have one though, you can just dry it in paper towel or like a cloth or whatever, and actually keep it in paper towel in your fridge.
Right.
The other one is don't dress your salad in advance. It can get really soggy and gross, and then you're less likely to eat it, right? Nobody likes that. The other thing, and I'm going to show you today, is not to depend on lettuce, right? There's so many other things you can add into your salads to make it more inviting, satisfying. And then the last thing, of course, is think about what you can add instead of what you can take out. So a lot of resolutions are like, I'm going to stop eating this and stop eating that, right? And instead, I want you to think about adding more nutrients, adding more color, adding more flavor, and that way you will be more satisfied and happy with your meals. It's a great way to think about it.
That's one of your tips for other things before in terms of eating healthy. Don't think about like take it away. Add these, because once you get full on them, you won't want to eat the crappier stuff necessarily. So
Exactly.
I like that, Seanna. Okay.
For sure.
You've brought in some beautiful salads, and I was all about making salads this holiday season. Like I threw together some squash with pickled. I've never pickled red onions before when I did that.
They're so good.
They're so delicious. But what you brought in looks amazing, starting with this green goddess salad.
Yeah, so this started as sort of a TikTok trend, the green goddess salad, and it was just like chopped really finely vegetables like cabbage, green onions, cucumber. What I did was I sort of plumped it up a little bit with a few more greens, and I just found sort of what I could in my fridge. So it's snap peas, green peas, frozen green peas I threw in there. I have iceberg lettuce and cabbage for a little bit of texture.
Nice.
And then what I do, and this is great for meal prep, is you make that mix first, and you can keep that in the fridge for up to 4 to 5 days, which is fantastic. And then you take out what you need and then dress it. So like I was saying, right, we don't want that soggy dressing. So the dressing really is everything for this one, the green goddess dressing. It starts with olive oil, lemon, apple cider vinegar, some garlic, nothing too crazy. But then you're adding in tons of leafy greens, whatever you have in your fridge. So I had parsley, cilantro, dill, and even baby spinach. Just so, Now, what I also did to make this a little more satisfying, because fiber is great. We all should be getting more fiber, and that is, the base of salads. But we need protein to make that last, right? So what I did was I actually crumbled up falafel that I had. So
is that what this is?
Yeah,
falafel.
So I have a falafel mix at home, and I just made up a couple of falafels and then crumbled them on top. If you don't have that, obviously you can't do that, but you can buy some falafels and do that as well. The other thing is eggs, and I love like a jammy egg. So delicious.
Really nicely cooked,
so you just throw that on top, and that's going to help it really last throughout the day, so you're not hungry like an hour later.
Sure.
How do you cut that cabbage? Do you have a mandolin? Is that like, or
you can use
or
a
do you
mandolin.
knife it?
I have a food processor, so I can put it through there. But you can actually just chop it really nice and thin. You don't have to depend on any, appliances or anything. Just chop it up really nice and thin, and even smaller. Like if you can't get it super thin, just really nice and small. So they're bite sized.
It's delicious. Really, really fantastic here.
Thank you.
And then we've got on this side this quinoa here, which my wife loves cooking with quinoa. This is quite a thing, and it's
protein,
all kinds of protein.
Right?
Exactly. So again, this is something we're starting with a base that contains that protein for you. So this is going to help you feel full all afternoon. But what I did with this one, and it's great room temperature, warm, it can be cold. That's what I love about this. So again, we made the base out of, I had leftover quinoa I just threw in there, but I roasted sweet potato, onion, Brussels sprouts, peppers, until they were nice and soft. And then I just chopped them up, added them in. I threw in a handful of spinach. And then what you do, isn't that good? Yeah. So once you have
dressing is
that
amazing,
base,
too.
thank you.
Wow.
Once you have that base, you take out again what you need, and I topped it with, and this is what really satisfies. I find is the candied pecan.
Yes.
Right. A little bit of sweetness in there.
Yeah, it's nice.
Apples and pomegranates for some freshness. Some goat cheese for some creaminess.
Brussels sprouts too.
Yeah, there's Brussels sprouts
Yeah,
in
I
there.
tasted
So
that.
you're getting all these flavors, all these textures,
Wow.
right? It's sweet, it's savory, it's salty, and the dressing is a really nice tahini dressing, and
delicious,
it's
yeah.
so good, eh? So maple syrup, tahini, apple cider vinegar, salt and pepper, really, really simple, and you can keep that in your fridge.
These Brussels sprouts are about as well hidden as your April Fool's stuff you pulled on us when you made the cake pops.
The chocolate
them up
covered.
very
Yeah.
No, that was really good. And again, I like your idea of, you can make a bigger one that lasts for several days and then add to it, because really it's up to you what you add ultimately, isn't it?
Totally, and you can top it with whatever you want, but I find for meal prep, and when we're talking about getting healthy in the new year, make it as easy as possible for yourself, right? So if you have this big base of salads just sitting in your fridge, you're more likely to take a couple of them and then add whatever fresh toppings that you have on hand.
My gosh,
Great tips.
Yeah, and it's so good for you. You're getting more fiber, you're getting more protein. It's just excellent.
This is great. Yeah. Okay.
Just feel
Thanks.
like healthier already, just being in the
Yeah.
presence of a
We're
salad.
ready for the new year with all these salads. I can feel the weight falling
Delicious.
off as we speak. Okay, Shaunna Thomas.
Happy New
we'll
Year,
see you next week.
Shaunna.
Happy New Year.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much.
us.
This
Back
is
with
so
more breakfast.
good. Oh my
Salad
gosh.
for breakfast right after this.
Yum.
This is great, Shaunna.
Thank you.